So it's an honor for me to be here to say those few things to you. There is, for those of you who are Christians and who are Bible leaders, if you check the word of God in the book of Isaiah 46, verse 9 to 10, it's a scripture that meant so much to me because of the content of it. That scripture is a scripture that is bless my soul, and it is part of the thing that really get me going as an individual. So you can take your time and read it, what God says about it. So let me leave you gazing about it. But if you want to know the truth about life, the greatest mystery in life is that your destiny was chosen by God, but its fulfillment is decided by you. And people don't like it because many people want, if God choose my destiny, he should take me there. I don't have to do anything again because he choose it. Then how do you overcome? If I put you in one pipe and remove you from the next pipe and call you an overcomer, what did you overcome? God decide your destiny, but the fulfillment of it is a choice you make. And if you want to understand that, it's another story I have that meant so much to me about an elderly man who is like an oracle in his village. People respect him for his intuitive approach in understanding matters and resolving it to people. But one day, two clever young men decided that they are going to make a fool out of this oracle, supposedly well-informed gentleman. And they caught a bird and put the bird behind their hands and then approached the oracle and started giggling. And the oracle was wondering, why are you laughing like your senses are not correct? They said, no, there's something that has bothered us and we came to you to please to, resolve it for us. Oracle said, go ahead. He said, we have behind our hand, we have a bird. And we just want you to help us to explain whether this bird is alive or dead. They already made up their mind. If the oracle tell them that the bird is dead, they will show him a live bird to see he does not have sense. At the same time, they made up their mind. If the man told them the bird is alive, they will squeeze the bird and the bird will die. And they will show him he cannot see. He doesn't really, his vision is not correct. But the two young men were surprised. After asking the question and laughing like their sense is not correct, the oracle himself started laughing and told them, I think it's very simple. Your question is not as complicated as you think. But let me tell you, whether that bird is alive or dead is up to you. And they were shocked. What is he trying to say? If you like, kill the bird. If you like, keep it alive. It's totally in your hand. So destiny is not something that is out there that you can never reach or that is completely out of your control. You got to be intentional if you want to be successful. It's not enough to say, I want to be successful. There are many people, I haven't seen any one person who says, I don't want to be successful. Every one of us have desire to be successful. But success comes with a price. It's about how many people that are willing to pay the price of success. Success is not, everybody wants to be a business person, but there are laws that control business. How many people are willing to pay the price of being a businessman? You cannot, there are already keys that are provided that you need to look for those keys. When you see a man get to a door, trying to open the door and start speaking in tongues, it's evidence he did not have the correct key. You don't need to speak in tongues to open the door if you have the correct key. You put the key on the door will open and you enter the door. But when you start praying, when you get to the door, the first evidence is that the key you have is a wrong key. Because when I say things like this, people misunderstood me. Are you canceling prayer? People say prayer is the answer. Prayer is one of the key, but not the answer. Because prayer does not cancel principle. If you violate principle, you pay for it. If you do not follow the rule, you pay for it, regardless of your prayer. So let's get to business. Starting up is difficult in everything, just like somebody who is not an artist that decide to run. The correct thing to do is to break your vision to a manageable situation. Because sometimes people aim so high, like we are told, you aim high and fall in the sky. But you can aim so high that you give yourself a challenge that you are not capable of contending, and you can be so discouraged. If you never exercise, don't go out in the morning and come back in the evening jogging, because you will be sick in the next 1 week, and you probably may not do it again in the next 6 months or 1 year. But time yourself and say, I'm going to take 15 minutes walk today. I'm going to do 20 minutes walk next. There's nothing in life that is as good as consistency. Applying is different from practicing. Applying is that you do something once, but you do not continue to do it. The result comes from practicing. And that means being consistent over the things you plan or decide to do. I worked for my uncle for 5.5 years and 6 years. In 1976, my uncle gave me 200 naira. 200 naira is a good money compared to 200 naira of today, because it's almost $400 US. Naira used to be one naira used to be $1.88. So basically, my uncle gave me about $360 US. You can also multiply it by 1,500 naira today. You have an idea what it is in today's money. But very many people have that kind of money today, and they are confused and say that they didn't have anything, there's nothing. Yes, I can also decide that day to go to a restaurant and eat goat head, which is delicacy in my village, and blame God today. Why did he took my father when I was 4 years? Blame everybody in our village, blame every rich man that I ever know or associated with me. Why didn't they support my education to go to school? Because we live in a society of blamers today, where the white man blame the black man for his predicament, the black man blame the white man for his predicament. Everybody look for who to blame. You go to school, you didn't score good grade, you say that dumb teacher. The same school where you are calling the teacher a dumb teacher, people are coming out of the same class with distinction. You go to church because you are not willing to live right and tax yourself and hold yourself accountable. You are not up to, when you are rebuked or told the truth, say this is a bunch of hypocrites, you jump out of the church. Why don't you stay? Let them know that there's one honest man that is not a hypocrite among them. But people look for things to blame, to put their predicament upon some other person, like looking for who to transfer the problem. You can transfer that responsibility, but it has not improved your life. It has not made you a better human being. You've not improved your finances. So the earlier you make up your mind to say, I want a change in my life, because nothing is going to change until you decide it's going to change. You are the people that makes the difference. So you need to be intentional to say, I want to succeed. I made up my mind. I'm going to pay the price. So with the 200 naira, it's a small money. Where do I go with it? But I am a realist. My senior brother has started something. Running business is subject to what capital do you have initially? Because what competitive advantage do you have in the industry you want to get in? Do I have the kind of capital that will give me the opportunity to compete with these people? It's good to have a clear goal where you want to be in life. But you can never be there the same day. You need to paint the picture. You create the canvas that you wanted in your life. It's a journey of a voyage. You may not know all the routes that will take you there, but keep your eyes on the big picture, on that main goal where you want to be, and start small. Bible said, do not neglect the beginning of a small thing. I never neglected 200 naira my uncle gave me. Incidentally, I went with my senior brother who told me to leave that and let us go away. And I asked him a simple question. I said, Pius, do you have anyone to give me when we get home? He says no. And I confronted him. I said, so why are you asking me to leave this? I took the 200 naira with courage. Courage is not an absence of fear. It's ability to act in the face of danger. Nobody will believe in you before you believe in yourself. You are the first believer of yourself. That confidence I have made me look my uncle into the eyes. A young man of 15 years. And I said, Uncle, 5 years from today, if you like, you make a note that I say so. If you had who I will become, your head will be spinning. There are things 15 years boys don't say. He shook my uncle. He turned from his seat, looked at me and said, well, I know you will succeed. I said, thank you very much. Why did I do that? He acknowledged my affirmation of who I want to be. But it's not just good enough that I said that, but I actually spoke from the depth of my heart about my belief about myself. Because if you are going to be an entrepreneur, your belief to succeed must be greater than your fear to fall. Because there's always fear, unconscious fear in every human being that put people in prison. What happened if I make a mistake? What happened if I did not succeed? What happened if it didn't go the way I planned? And this get people to procrastination, where you keep on saying, well, let me wait, because they are going to laugh at me tomorrow. I hate to be laughed at. When I am sure everything is right, I come out to do it. This procrastination has stopped people today from imparting other people. People like me are people who have shown courage in everything they do in life, including talking to you like this. I stopped in a third grade education, elementary. You need to know what my grammar was 40-something years ago. But I was willing to be laughed at, because the more you laugh at me, the more I improve. To succeed in life, you must be willing to be laughed at. Fear is #1 enemy you need to cast out of your life. Let people laugh at you, but have clear determination of where you want to be and where you are going. Take those laughter as a feedback. There are people who have victim mentality. Once you laugh at them, whoo, the world has come to an end. They went back to their shell. Nobody is going to laugh at me again. I have nothing to lose. My mind is that you can say anything you like about me. My prayer for you is that God will keep you alive to see me in another 5 or 10 years from there. So I work with my senior brother. Part of the things you need to do as a startup is to have an ego eye in your capital and your expenditure. How much do you spend every day in relative to the capital you have? Many people start business with very small capital, but they are not playing by the rule, knowing that you need to record every penny you spend in a day to be able to hold yourself accountable. How much do you spend in a week? How much do you spend in a month? And ask yourself, can this business pay me salary to live with this lifestyle? If it cannot pay you salary to live in that lifestyle, because you must distinct yourself from your business. Your business is a corporation that is different from yourself. So you can now determine this business can succeed with only taking 50,000 out of it or taking 100,000. And then you tell yourself, well, my salary is only 50,000. So I have to manage myself with 50,000 naira salary. And that will determine, do you drink soft drink? Do you take 1,000 or you must wait for a transportation? Are you going to hang around to see if you can get a free ride? An eagle eye to expenditure is a key to success in business in future. Because God created a man to be a manager of resources. God took the man he created and put him in the Garden of Eden and said, dress it, cultivate it. The difference between garden and a bush is the order that you keep in there. Resources is not imprinted in supply, it's depletable in nature and can easily be used up. If you understand this principle, it helps you to know what is necessary and what is not. Economics is not these bogus things they teach you in university and make people think their heads swallow. Economics is what we call opportunity cost. What do you think you can forego for the other pressing need you have? It's about ordering and mastering deploying of resources. Recently, a young man that I'm mentoring came to me and told me he's going on vacation. I said, where are you going? He says, going to South Africa. I said, to do what? He said, just to have some full-time income. I said, sit down. I sat him down. I told him, you can't afford to live this kind of lifestyle. For the person I know you to be, you don't have the kind of resources to do this. You are not giving me any good reason why that should be a priority to you. Many people have mismanaged resources. And I told him, I said, people who do things like this, I don't take them serious. If they ask me for loan, I don't give them money. Because I've never seen that they understood how to manage money, that there are things that are important better than the other. Nobody should be your model. You are the model of yourself because you have clear goal. You have a sense of purpose. You have a direction where you are going to go. And I was mentoring some young people recently, and one of them said, we have been over-mentored and we have been underfunded. I said, shut up. I said, shut up. Where is the fund going to come from? Who are you expecting to give you the fund? The first ability to show you are an entrepreneur is your skill of management. How do you create capital? How do you build capital? You can start business from first taking a job. You go to your job to learn. You work hard, taking that business like it's your own, giving it everything you have. You may not like your job, but your job provides you a means of livelihood. Manage that money to be able to deploy yourself. As you keep that money and save it because you have plans and goals, then you build it up to a certain level. You should not be embarrassed when people say you are unique. You should not be embarrassed when people say you don't act like other people, because that's truly who you are. You have a goal, you have a sense of direction, and those are your driving force. Because you have plans, you don't want to belong. You are not looking for anybody's endorsement or approval. You've already decided within you that you're a leader, and the leader is the one who provides a direction. So if you grew up with that sense, it captivates and dictates everything you do, even without you opening your mouth. People will begin to say you are unique. But they judge you by their own perspective. That unique for them could be wrong, because you don't chill out with the boys in the evening. You don't, go for every social gathering and things like that. But be patient with yourself, because you are not there to be able to prove anything to anybody. So when you now start that business, you first of all, with the capital you've been able to build, look for business where you see you have a competitive advantage, because you can't start a business with 5 million naira or 10 million and you want to get into oil industry. Maybe you are going there to be able to maybe serve people and try to, create friendship that, because network is also a social capital, that all you started to do is to use your 5 million naira to build your social capital, meeting people and knowing them, hoping you can be able to harness those social capital one day to become a real cash. Otherwise, you have no business hanging around those people. One thing I have proved in life is that once you can start something and bring it to tangible position where people can see what you have done from point A to point B, finding resources to take it to point C or D is always very easy, because you are not speaking from intellectual conception. You have something that people can touch and feel. I started selling bread with 5,000 naira. I grew this bread. Now I'm doing 200,000 naira in bread. I want to add milk. I want to add sugar. If I find somebody who will give me another, say, 10 million naira in addition to the first 5 million I have, somebody will listen to you, because the person will say, that same sense you have to take this from here to here, there is a possibility that if I give you this push, you will be here or the other place. So people have wondered, why can I find a young man and maybe give 150 million naira or give $2 million, and there are other people with me that I can't even give 50,000? Because I deploy resources where there will be a result on it. I always like to be able to be part of a success. If you show you can be part of success, people are willing to invest in you. People invested in me. It's a magnet. It works. There is a deep in you calling after a deep. And if there's a deep in you calling, there's a deep somewhere to respond to that deep. It's a state of mind, the hunger that you are incubating and about to explode. It will magnet something. The universe will conspire, and that thing that is in your hand. But people have different goals and objectives in life. So don't make mistake again. I said that the greatest mystery in life is that your destiny was chosen by God, but the fulfillment is decided by you. If you like, I will repeat it again. Your destiny is chosen by God, but its fulfillment is decided by you. That's a heavy responsibility. And I say it authoritatively and confidently, that I've never seen any man or woman that really have desire to succeed that have never succeeded. The other people have wish. Wish is different from a desire. If you have a desire, you have plans. Colin Powell, the 2% state of United States president said that a wish without a goal without a plan is a wish. Many people have wishful thinking, something they like should happen, but they have no plan for it. But if you're a young man who want to be a doctor, once you make decision, I want to be a doctor, there's something in you that will ask you the question, how? How? They don't use mouth to become a doctor. Yoruba people or Igbo people said you cannot use mouth to put fish inside a soup. Oh, le no pot. You can you need money. So you need to work for it. So your business can be deeply challenged. When you start building up, if you are starting like me, the way I stood as one-man organization, I used to be the A to Z of my company, the forwarding and forwarding and backward agent, the managing and managing director, the accountant general, the secretary, the financial, everything I was. But once I start getting capital, some great money where I can pay people, I knew where I wanted to be in life. So I had to hire people. Initially, people who are not going to ask me for arm and leg. If you can do addition very well, you are good accountant and honest, because it's about calculating money and be able to know if you minus this and the other one. But when I took that level, but I had to get to another stage, that's what I'm a very practical person, where you now want to compete in a structured manner, then you need to begin to look for people with certificate, because at that time you build a capital where you will be able to pay them. But you're still not looking for the best in the industry. I didn't start business and get KPMG to hire me a financial controller or get PwC to come and look into what we are doing. But I knew I need them at a certain time in my life, and I have to mature to get to where I need them. So you keep on giving your business what they require at every given time. An entrepreneur will defer his gratification. You are not in a hurry to let people know you have arrived. The wristwatch you have is not what makes you who you are, or the quality of the phone you carry, unless it's a working tools. So you sit on all of those things and walk yourself up to where you want to be. Once you see people who want people to look at this eyeglass, it's very special. You are not, I call entrepreneur. You are just hanging around for some opportunities and see whether you can get contract. By the way, I really, with utmost due respect, but people who look for contract has no clear stream of income or business, only waiting for opportunity to come. Many of them, you can get one contract, in the next 5 years, you don't get another, and you call yourself a businessman. You have squandered all the other money that you have made from that. You need to have a going concern on a day-to-day basis, something you know you are providing a service and solution to humanity that will be your stream of income. If contract comes, it's an eyes on the cake, but it's not what you wait and look for your life for. So just think about all the things I said. I've only spent 31 minutes, but I don't even want to take you through all of this. What I've said is enough to stimulate you to begin to think and ask questions. So I think 20 minutes question and answer is too long, because I don't answer my questions yes or no. So I think I will pause now and allow you to ask questions so that I can use it to do more teachings. God bless you.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Dr. Maduka, for this very expository teaching on how to grow your business. Okay, so we'll combine it together now. We will have our respectable chairman, Dr. Stephen Akintayo and Dr. Maduka, come together for question and answer session. So please, let's also invite Dr. Stephen.
I'm not hearing you.
And
is this one?
Oh.
Okay, go ahead. I can hear you now.
Hear me now. Okay. So thank you very much, Dr. Maduka. Please let's give a round of applause. Thank you very much for this very wonderful expository teaching on how to grow your business. So we have a Q&A, question and answer session now. I won't mind having Dr. Stephen Akintayo and Dr. Maduka on the question panel. So please, we have on the chat there, we have Q&A. So you can drop your questions there. I will read them as you drop them. So please drop your question there. If you have a question for Dr. Stephen Akintayo, drop it there. If you have a question for Dr. Maduka, please drop it there and I'll read it out and they will answer you one after the other. So it's time for question and answer. So please go to the Q&A box and drop in your question, please. This is just for 20 minutes. The Q&A section and drop in your question. Okay, let's start typing our questions now. Come on, let's start typing now our questions. Go to the Q&A session. There is there, and then type in your question. Okay. So I'm seeing a question here. What advice would you offer me on how I can successfully market and sell a 1.5 billion naira property as a realtor? Okay, I'm sure this question is thrown to Dr. Stephen Akintayo to answer. What advice would you offer me on how I can successfully market and sell a 1.5 billion naira property as a realtor? Okay. While we wait for that answer, let me go to the next question. It said the difference between a bush and a forest. Okay, that's just a quote. All right. Good afternoon, sir. Can you be my mentor? Okay, Dr. Maduka, someone is asking. Mr. Etin is asking if you can be his mentor.
I'm already mentoring him. What he's hearing from me today is part of mentorship, and he can also subscribe to my Instagram account. I've decided once in a month I'll come there to talk to my audience and take their questions and answer them. I can't do individual mentoring. It's not humanly possible, and I am one who is driven by sustainability. It's not something that is sustainable. So regrettably, I do not take individual mentorship.
All right, thank you very much. So Mr. 18, please go and subscribe to Dr. Maduka tips from here. And that one says, sir, please, what's the best way to raise more capital to push through tough season for a startup?
I will tell a startup to not just too many things to do. First of all, if you are convinced about what you want to do or what you are doing, don't go to look for capital that come with costs, with interest. Talk to friends, talk to colleagues, talk to family members. The real problem is not capital. It's very unfortunate. 90% of the places I have spoken, I see people playing 90% emphasis on capital. There are many people who have capital that have lost capital. If you don't have knowledge about what you want to do and have capital, you will lose the capital. In business terminology, we say you learn in a hard way. Your school fees is too expensive. Start small, start any business. There's no level you cannot go in business. If you hear that we built a phenomenon that is called Cosmas based on 200 naira, that should give you courage that the amount you are starting with is not important. What is important is where do you get to finally in life? You can start small and build up and aim to where you want to go, and you will get there. But you need to understand also that success is a process. It's not an event. Many people want success to be an event, catastrophically, that you take from ground, you become a man-child. No, you go through the process of learning how to stand up. You don't even walk without standing up. In standing up, you fall. God teaches how these things are done with nature. When your feet start standing up, then you start moving. rising and falling, dangling. That business, every business go through it. Then your feet become very firm. Nobody is afraid whether you are going to fall when you start. Then you start walking normal before you start running. But some people want God to make them like a man-child. The only man-child God created was Adam. After that, even Jesus entered into the womb of a woman and was born like every one of us and learned the process of growth. So I don't know how to get rich overnight, how to start business today and become a multi-billionaire tomorrow. I've never practiced it. I've never seen. I hear people, do it. I wish them the best of luck. So I can't teach on it. I don't know the model and how it works. But I've learned to follow nature, and I encourage people that if you follow it, you will be successful.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Maduka. Okay, this question is for Dr. Stephen Akintayo. It's from Obichuku. He says, what advice will you offer me on how I can successfully market and sell a 1.5 billion naira property as a realtor? Dr. Stephen, sir.
Okay, thank you. And by the way, please help me celebrate my mentor, Dr. Cosmas, for coming and sharing. Can we all give him a round of applause? Thank you so much, sir. I would say go to where people who can afford that are, right? Where are they? Such people, I had to learn how to play golf. I wasn't from an elite family, but when they told me that rich people play golf, I had to learn it. And I've met a lot of billionaires at the golf course. Some say go to where they are. Number two, go to events they attend. Now, intentionally, I attend expensive events just to network with high network people. So I'm attending, there's a Harvard event for presidents. It's a 2-year event, $150,000. I'm joining. The goal is not, most of what they teach I already know, but the quality of people who can afford to pay that money I prepare for my international business. So go for events, courses, trainings where high net worth people are, but start at your level. You can't say now you want to start and then you are starting at my level. No, it could be a training that, oh, it's 50,000 naira. Try, and it's not easy. Some of these things are not easy because you can do other things with those money, right? So you start graduate with paid trainings, meet the speaker there. Number three, which is very important, is do not go with need. Don't go with buy from me, do something for me, solve their problem, right? Know them better, right? Give them gifts. I realize a lot of rich people will first want to know you before they do business with you, right? They can't just trust you and start giving you money. They want to build relationship. They want to at least measure your personality so that they know what they're doing. So again, there are a lot more, but you can study, go for courses around sales and marketing. But I will stop there because of time.
Thank you very much, Dr. Stephen.
If I can come behind you, if you've never sold property before, and it's good to aim to sell 1.5 billion or 10 billion naira property, but it is practical. If you see what your competitive advantage is, and what is your competitive advantage? Your competitive advantage are people you know that can accept you at the level where you are, you can associate. So you start with 50 million, 20 million property, 50 million. As you earn money, then you improve yourself to begin to get to where you associate with people who, there are not many people buy 1.5 billion naira property. There are not many people that buy 10 billion naira property. But are they there? They are there. And you can sell it, they are there. But so you need to start networking and building your network, which is really your net worth. As you build on it, you begin to, develop your social capital, who you know the other person to put this together you know, but if you start from day one and saying you will do that, that's a good, really mind-blowing idea. But the chances of it is that maybe you are living with a wealthy man that you just mentioned to him that this is out there for sale, and he said, okay, let me talk to you, because it's not, many people at that level cannot interact or talk with you. So it takes process. If you understand it takes process, but you are determined and you are willing to be consistent in the thing you are doing, you can sell a 10 billion naira property easily, effortlessly. That I can assure you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Maduka. That answers your question. Mr. Adebowale was asking, how do I really discover my area of competitive advantage? I'm sure Dr. Maduka has answered that question already. So I will just take one more question before we end the Q&A session. And that's for Dr. Maduka. Someone is asking, Olga, he said, as a founding pastor, can one have a full-time job and pastor effectively?
Absolutely. There's no best way to preach what God inspired to you when you are not financially dependent on anybody. You can speak truth from your heart based on the revelation God gives you. Many of the pastors speak to please the people because they know if he tells them the truth, they will walk out of his church and he doesn't know where the next meal is coming. So sometimes he adjusts his voice and you know, this inspiration to be able to keep that stream of income coming. So your people even respect you when they know you have a stream of income, because some of them also need that money from you. So your convert in your church can even grow, even by knowing you know what to do and you are earning money than depending on them. So you can be a full-time. Actually, at 17, clearly I knew I had a call of God in my life with no ambiguity. But having not gone to school, I didn't have education. With my background and where I am, if I preach gospel, I minister, I go for evangelism. But if I took ministry as a full-time, somebody may think this was just about a meal ticket for me, means of survival and a livelihood. And I knew there were no sawdust in my brain, that if these people think they are intelligent, I am intelligent. I asked God to please allow me to, you know, pursue mastery and come back to this. And that was why at a certain level in my life, I keep on telling my wife, I said, look, honey, I'm getting derailed. My wife said, what are you talking about? I said, I'm not doing what God asked me to do. My wife said, but you build churches for people, you are helping people. Paul said, if you send them. I said, no, what I'm answering is a missed call. So the day I finally took this decision, I didn't tell her. I made up my mind that I'm ranching full-time. Yeah, I'm a full-time minister and I'm still a businessman. But so if people invite me now to come and speak to different places, and quite a number of them, I don't ask them, please send me ticket money. I have to go finance myself, pay my ways, pay my hotel, because I can afford it, because I am led to go. But if I don't have that means, I will not be able to go. So you are at your best if you have a stream of income where God help you to be able to financially be independent. And let me make a strong statement that no man, no woman is totally independent until that person is financially independent. Otherwise, the person that pays you money take certain decisions over your life. And whether you like it or not, you have to submit or you look for some other means of livelihood. So people have said they are independent, they are not under slavery anymore. But if financially you are not independent, you are not totally independent.
Thank you very much, Dr. Maduka, for that wonderful answers to the question. And Dr. Stephen, thank you very much for the Q&A session. Okay, so we come to the end of the Q&A session for this part of today's program. What we will do now is that we want to go into our breakout sessions. Let us test you and see if you have gotten value and knowledge from the first session by Dr. Stephen Akintayo on sales being the lifeblood of your organization, and the second session by Dr. Maduka on how to grow your business from scratch to the top. Okay, so now we're going into our breakout sessions. We are over 304 in the breakout in the house. So we have 3 breakout sessions. 3 breakout sessions. So when you see the prompt, okay, so please, can we take 2 more questions? Just we can also,
after 10 minutes,
can also take 2 more questions before we put our
I cut my speech down.
Right, thank you.
To take questions. So if there are more questions, we would like to take it. Otherwise, we'll summarize.
Okay, sir. So this question is for you, Dr. Maduka. I said, dear Dr. Cosmas, how can I balance getting personal materials to create a good impression versus letting people know that I have arrived? He says, dear Dr. Cosmas, materials to create a good impression versus letting people know that I have arrived.
How to get people and create a good impression and make them believe you have arrived.
Yes.
Wow. That's a real question. I don't know, because for me, it's like as much as it sounds good, but it depends on the motive behind it, because it could also be being deceptive, because I don't know how you have arrived when you cannot maybe, you know, pay your house bill and give people impression. What I rather like to ask me, how do I exceed people's expectation by sitting on wealth that they do not know that I have? You know, so because it's more important for people to underestimate you. Yes, people overestimating you, you know, give you some false value, you know, make people believe like you are larger than life. That's good. But the reality is that when you have a situation that really put you to test, woo, they will find out this has been big falsehood. It's better that people think you are just very fragile and they can lift you up. And then let 4 of them come to carry you and see your weight will make all of them fall on the ground. Then their respect for you is more. I don't know how to do that, but like I said, it depends on what is motivating you to do that, because you can package yourself where people can maybe think you want something and trust things in your hand. But there's also, it's a little faulty for somebody to do that, because the real truth is that very many people who want to create that impression, there's no better impression but being consistent in what you are doing and doing it well. Where, like, you know, there are people who want to appear in CNN every day. I've never really think that is too important for me, but CNN has come to carry me here and, you know, interviewed me and carry it for 2 weeks on African whatever. I don't know how much it costs some other people to appear there. Folks have come interviewed me. So if you are doing what you are doing and what you are doing produce results, your news cannot be quenched. People will get to hear about you and will come to ask you questions about what you are doing. I will, on the other hand, ask you again to be sure that your motive about that is right, because I've seen people who do that, but it never give them opportunity to really do something meaningful, but just try to hang around people that are important, but that does not put food on the table for you or make you feel anything more valuable, except about the people you associate with. People you associate with can be your social capital if they respect you. Because I've had a situation where I have financial need. Just somebody that associates with me, that know me, that believe I want something, send me 10 million United States dollar without starting any agreement. That's social capital. I didn't ask him. He asked me, do I have a need? I said, yes. and he did that. So it depends what motivates you, but that was never my intention of being friendly with him or anything like that. So be sure again, your motive is right in what you plan to do. But how do you do that? I do not know, because you need money to support your social status, you know, the kind of shoes and all of the things you do. I would rather you focus on how to make money and how to create money, and then you build it up along with your social status. But how could you create impression from people you arrive? 419 people can teach that very well. Wear some very expensive wristwatch, you know, dress up in a very nice suit, and you know, hire a Rolls Royce to go for a meeting. You know, those things can work, but it's not my area of core competence.
Thank you very much, sir, Dr. Cosmas Maduka. All right, another question here for you, sir, is from Uluwa Shayo Ajayi, who says, thank you for this session, Dr. Cosmas. She's asking, or he, do you have a mentorship program for people who want to venture into automobile dealership? Is it a paid mentorship or is it a free mentorship?
It depends on what area of automobile you want to venture into. It varies. We have an academy, a program we started with Lagos State government, where we get young graduates and the people who drop out of school. We teach them hands-on and online how to repair car and understand the mechanism of internal combustion engine. Ford Motor Company USA support us with it. People are certified. It's a resource pool for us. If you want to start your own, when you are graduated, it's a 1.5 year or 2 years program. You can go start something on your own. If you like to work for us, we take you to work for us, and that is one aspect of it. If you like to sell automotive component, then you also ask yourself, do you possess the discipline to learn, to go to a spander, get somebody who you work and learn under his feet for 3-4 years to understand the intricacies about it and the ups and downs of running business, and then he sets you up, depending on what you agree, 4 years, 5 years, and then you set up your own business. So there are different parts of automobile relative business, depending on what you are aspiring to do yourself, and the level of discipline you possess as an individual will determine whether you can be successful in any of them or not. But like I said, I make myself available. Most of Stephen's program recently, I've been partnering with him to come there to speak. And anybody who wants to ask me questions, I like to speak less and take real life questions. And if you become really serious, that I can have one-on-one to you, and I will talk to you, to be patient and schedule you to when I can be able to do that. But I am really overwhelmed with the demand on my time and life. I am going to be 66 in December, and I'm very conscious of it, that the next 14 years will give me 80 years of my life. So I've decided to dedicate it as a fertilizer to the young generations in trying to inspire and encourage them on how to make it in life, because truly your future is great and bright if you determine to take it. But it depends totally in your hand what become of your life. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Cosmas Maduka. Okay, the last question for this Q&A is going to Dr. Stephen Akintayo. Dr. Stephen, sir, the question is, what advice will you give to someone that is working and running a side business? Secondly, at what point do you advise a person working to pull out to do his own business?
Sure.
Okay, I believe Dr. Cosmos will add to this, but let me start by advising that, first of all, you must be careful balancing job with self-employment, because if you look at cash flow quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki, remember you have E, you have S, you have business, and then you have investments, right? It is people like Dr. Cosmas who now you can call a business owner, because we always deceive ourselves to think once we start a business, we are not a business owner. You are still self-employed because the business is still largely dependent on your involvement. And what the rule shows is that if you are an employee or you are self-employed, 95% of the people in the world, that's what they do, but they only control 5% of the money in the world. It is when you now grow to be a business owner with structure, you can leverage on other people's money, other people's time. That is when you are now in the category of 5% of people in the world who control 95% of the money in the world. So you want to be careful so that you don't lose out both ways, right? Your job has to fire you because they notice you are not concentrating, and then the business itself has not worked. I've seen people, I mean, this is my 16th year and I'm still at it. This is Dr. Cosmos, 40-something years, he's still at it. So business is not as easy as it looks. So be careful with this side also. Let it be something that will not jeopardize your job. Because I tell people, if you are smart, your job will be the capital for your investment and business, right? So my advice sometimes is here, put some of those money you have that you want to be putting on side also, invest in other businesses, buy Tesla shares.
Is it from you?
Okay.
Okay, let me come behind Stephen quickly to say I totally agree.
These investments will bring you enough.
Okay.
And all of these things. So that would be my advice. But whatever side also, if you must do it, must not be such that it also jeopardizes your promotion, your current job, if you are sure you still need the job for your sustenance.
Okay, Stephen, let me quickly come behind you.
Thank you very much, Dr.
Let me quickly come behind Stephen. I totally agree with everything he has said. What I do tell people is go to your job. Give it your very, very best, because your job is your training ground for your future. Take that business and run it like it's your own. You have no other life but it, because you have one life to live. The same way you work for your boss, if truly you believe that is the correct course. Jesus said, who will entrust riches to you if you have not been faithful in another man's vineyard? But when you get home in the evening, instead of WhatsApping mail, making sure you read all of the junk mail you have, that is the time to begin to redeploy yourself. And that is to say, your other means of stream of income, businesses that you need to pay attention. Actually, if I summarize it, your time is your life. Many people have not managed their time well, and that's why they have ended up not working anything. Your time is your life. And the day you were born, you are in a timer. Whether you live 66 or you live 110, when that time reaches, you are gone. Whatever you achieve at that time is what you have achieved. So you must maximize each day for yourself. There's no time to waste in watching dating movies or things that does not add or count for life or add value. Use those time to, because in your business also, you create social people you meet that you can interact. When you get back home, that's when you do something that is outside of the real means of your life of income. Nobody will fire you if the people know you are adding value in the organization. They need you. Even when you want to go, they will tell you, please sit back, let us negotiate, because they know your worth and value. But how do you withdraw, become your own? As you see those things you are doing on the sideline, generating you relatively the same income or even better than your full-time paid job on a consistent basis, not because you did one deal and something worked out, but on a consistent basis, then you will say, why not I give it my full attention? Even before giving it your full attention, if you are smart, you can get some people who you pay salary to be doing it while you are still keeping your original employment. By the second year, the third year, you see consistently this thing has been delivering to you return that your pay job is not giving you. Then that's the time to throw it in towel in a very respectful manner, that organization will still partner with you even while you are starting your own business.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Stephen Akintayo and Dr. Cosmas Maduka, for this enlightening session on the Q&A. All right, so please let's give them a round of applause. Let's start from